On a quiet Sunday morning in Grand Blanc, Michigan, the peaceful routine of worship at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was shattered by a violent and tragic attack. At least 4 people were killed and 8 others injured when a man drove a pickup truck into the front of the church and opened fire on congregants gathered inside. The suspect, later identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, of Burton, Michigan, died during a shootout with police. The attack has left the local community and the nation in shock as authorities continue to investigate the motives behind this horrific event. Police reports describe a scene of chaos and horror. Witnesses say that the attacker, wielding an assault rifle, entered the church premises after ramming the vehicle into the building. At some point during the attack, the suspect also set the building on fire, further endangering the lives of those present. First responders arrived promptly, confronting the suspect and ultimately engaging in an exchange of gunfire that resulted in Sanford's death. Law enforcement has not yet provided a motive for the attack, leaving families, friends, and the broader public searching for answers. Thomas Jacob Sanford was an Iraq War veteran and known outdoorsman, according to military records and social media posts. Born and raised in Michigan, Sanford had a history of military service that spanned 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, from 2004 to 2008. During his time in the Marines, Sanford achieved the rank of sergeant and received multiple medals in recognition of his service and commitment to duty. Military records indicate that Sanford was deployed to Japan prior to serving in Iraq, and he spent several months in the country beginning in the summer of 2007 as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Colleagues and family members have described him as a disciplined serviceman dedicated to his military responsibilities. Sanford's deployment history reflects the rigorous training and experiences typical of Marine Corps personnel engaged in overseas combat operations during that period. Before his military career, Sanford graduated from Goodrich High School in 2004. He was later recognized among the school's notable veteran alumni, a distinction highlighting his service to the country. Archived local news articles document his early achievements and aspirations, including his deployment to Japan, which was seen at the time as a significant step in his military career. Teachers, classmates, and community members have recalled him as a young man committed to his responsibilities and eager to contribute to the nation's defense. Beyond his military service, Sanford's personal life was marked by family responsibilities. Social media accounts connected to his family indicate that he was married and had at least one child, a young son. The family's life was touched by hardship, particularly related to the health of his son. In 2015, Sanford and his family turned to the community for support, creating a GoFundMe campaign to help cover medical expenses for their newborn child, who was diagnosed with congenital hyperinsulinism, a rare genetic disorder. Congenital hyperinsulinism is a condition characterized by excessive insulin production in infants, leading to dangerously low blood sugar levels. Managing the condition often requires long hospital stays and complex medical interventions, including surgery. In Sanford's son's case, multiple procedures were necessary to remove portions of the pancreas, a difficult and delicate process for both the child and the family. The family documented their journey through social media, sharing updates with the broader community and seeking both emotional and financial support. The attack on the Grand Blanc Church has raised profound questions about public safety, mental health, and the underlying factors that can lead an individual to commit such acts of violence. Law enforcement officials have stated that the sequence of events unfolded rapidly, with Sanford first using his vehicle to breach the church and then opening fire on those inside. The addition of setting the building on fire escalated the danger, creating a harrowing environment for both congregants and first responders. Eyewitnesses described the moments inside the church as terrifying. Some accounts mention congregants fleeing through exits as smoke and gunfire filled the space. Others attempted to protect vulnerable individuals, including the elderly and children, while calling for emergency assistance. First responders arrived swiftly, containing the fire and engaging the suspect, ultimately ending the threat, but not before the loss of lives and injuries had occurred. The local community has been left to grapple with grief, trauma, and disbelief. Candlelight vigils and memorial services have been organized in honor of the victims, offering a space for collective mourning and reflection. Local leaders, religious officials, and residents have expressed deep sorrow and solidarity, emphasizing the need for healing in the wake of such a violent act. While Sanford's military service has been documented and acknowledged, authorities caution against drawing conclusions about his motives based solely on his background. The investigation remains ongoing, with officials examining Sanford's personal history, social interactions, and mental health, alongside any potential warning signs that may have preceded the attack. Community members, too, are seeking answers, hoping that understanding the reasons behind the tragedy may provide some measure of closure. Sanford's story is complex. On one hand, he was a decorated veteran who served his country with commitment and discipline. On the other, he is responsible for an act of devastating violence that has left families shattered. This duality reflects the broader challenges in understanding human behavior, particularly in cases involving individuals with military backgrounds who later commit acts of domestic violence or public attacks. Experts often emphasize the importance of mental health resources, community support systems, and early intervention strategies to prevent such tragedies. The attack also shines a light on the vulnerability of religious institutions and public spaces to acts of violence. Across the United States, congregations have increasingly faced threats, prompting discussions on security measures, emergency preparedness, and the role of law enforcement in safeguarding communities. In Grand Blanc, as in other communities affected by similar events, the focus now is on supporting survivors, helping families cope with loss, and fostering resilience in the face of trauma. As investigations continue, the lives of those lost and injured in this attack remain at the forefront of public concern. Families and friends remember the victims for their contributions, character, and the moments of joy they brought into the lives of others. The Grand Blanc community, while shaken, has come together to mourn, support one another, and reflect on the enduring values of compassion, faith, and resilience. Thomas Jacob Sanford's life and actions present a sobering narrative, one that intertwines service, personal struggle, and devastating violence. Understanding the full scope of his story, including his military achievements, family life, and the circumstances leading to the attack, is part of the ongoing effort to prevent future tragedies and provide support to communities affected by such events. In the aftermath, questions remain, authorities continue to investigate, and families continue to grieve. Yet amid the sorrow, the response of the community underscores the enduring human capacity for empathy, solidarity, and hope, even in the darkest of times.